What's going on, college football fans, and of course, all of the Miami Hurricanes fans, and welcome to today's preview video, the Miami Hurricanes versus the Central Michigan Chippewas. These two teams are facing off this Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time at Hard Rock Stadium on ACC Network. Now hold up, Miami fans and Central Michigan fans. I will have links for this game because I know you heard it. ACC Network. Coop, I don't have that channel yet. The last two Miami games have been on ACC Network, and I've got the hookup. I've got links for you. All you have to do is show up for the live hangout on Saturday afternoon during the game, and I will have links for you in the description. Free of charge, doesn't cost you a thing. You just click the link and watch the game. Now, I do want to let you guys know that I do have a join button on this channel now as well. That directly supports the channel. Android users, you can click the join button. It's beside the subscribe button. Apple users, you have to click a link down in the description. But it does come with some special perks. You get a U beside your name, and you get access to special emotes you can use during live stream. So that's pretty cool. Again, always optional, but I appreciate the support so much, guys. So we always start out these preview videos with a little bit of history between these two teams. Kind of take a look and see how they've matched up in the past. These two teams have never played each other. This will be the first time that Miami and Central Michigan have ever faced off. Now, I do find the timing of this matchup a little bit funny because, again, these two teams have never faced off. They finally get something lined up, and what do you know? It turns out that the current offensive coordinator for Miami, Dan Enos, used to be the head coach at Central Michigan from 2010 to 2014. So there's not a lot of history between Miami and Central Michigan, and let's be real, they're probably not going to play that much in the future. So let's just move on and talk about some key notes for this game. I have some huge news for Miami Hurricanes fans. Manny Diaz confirmed on Monday that Lorenzo Lingard should be ready to play in this game. Now, we all know that Dallas and Harris have been playing really well. So does Lingard actually get some snaps in this game? I think so. This would most likely be the perfect game to give Lingard some carries. And as we all know, he's quite possibly the fastest running back on the roster. For Miami, this game should be another Bethune-Cookman type game. And that means a lot of players will get to see playtime that don't normally get to see it. So that means the second string guys, the third string guys, everybody needs to be strapped up and ready to play. So let's talk about Central Michigan a little bit. The Chippewas are pretty pumped to be 2-1 because just last season they were 1-11. So if you want to be technical here, I'm not poking fun, I'm just saying. Technically speaking, Central Michigan has already won twice as many games as they won last year. Central Michigan kicked off the 2019 season with a brand new head coach, Jim McElwain. And yes, it is the Jim McElwain that you think it is, the Florida Gators head coach from 2015 to 2017. Central Michigan has had a tough go when it comes to injuries. They've already lost this season, just a couple games in, their starting quarterback and their starting running back. Both of them getting injured in the Wisconsin game. Now, I don't know if these are season-ending injuries, but they are pretty serious, and both of them will not play against Miami. Now, let's transition over to stats for these two teams. Now, keep in mind that I round these up. So if it's 38.6, I'm going to say it's 39. We've not covered stats yet in most of these preview videos, but we're 3 or 4 games into the season, so I feel like it's fitting we can go ahead and do that. So I'm hopefully going to put up a nice little graphic for you here on the screen. Your boy Coop is not the best at Photoshop, so it might look like a second grader drew this with crayons. I don't know, but you'll see after I edit and put it up. But anyways, Central Michigan averaging points per game 28, Miami averaging 36. Points allowed against them per game, Central Michigan coming in at 35, Miami a very low 17. Central Michigan average yards per game, 373, Miami averaging 460, and yards allowed against them per game, Central Michigan 389 and Miami 277. Now you also have to keep in mind that these stats are padded a little bit for Miami coming off of that Bethune-Cookman game. So let's move on and talk about keys to a victory for Central Michigan in this game. Number 1, as I said earlier in the video, the Chippewas lost their starting QB in the Wisconsin game in week number 2. So the next guy up, David Moore, played very well against Akron in their last game. He actually threw for 316 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has to come out confident against this Miami defense, and he cannot get rattled if he throws his first interception as a Chippewa. Number 2, Central Michigan has shown that they are pretty good at pressuring the opponent's QB. Now, Jaron Williams, the quarterback for Miami, has been very accurate so far this season, but the offensive line for Miami has had some trouble protecting him. So Central Michigan must keep constant pressure on Jaron Williams and try to get him to make some mistakes. And lastly, for Central Michigan, key for a victory in this game. This was number 3 for Bethune-Cookman last week as well. Central Michigan fans, coaches, and players need to pray for a victory against Miami, and they need to do it hard, because listen, Bethune-Cookman must not have prayed hard enough for a victory against Miami. Now, hear me out. As Miami fans, have we earned the right to brag or trash talk? No, not really. We haven't. We're 1-2. But Central Michigan, let's all be real, would need a miracle to beat Miami. So transitioning over to keys for a Miami victory in this game. Now, obviously, given what I just said, a lot of people are saying, Coop, what are you talking about? Miami's not that good. You're 1-2. Trust me, I get it. I just said we haven't earned the right to trash talk. I also want to make it known that you do not underestimate any opponent ever. Not Central Michigan, not Bethune-Cookman, not flipping UTEP. I don't care who it is. So Miami has to come out and take this game seriously. But key number 1 to a Miami victory, the Hurricanes still need to tackle better. Going back and watching the tape for the past 3 games, there's so much arm tackling. There's so many players taking bad angles on defense. And a lot of times there were plays that resulted in extra yardage that I don't think would have if the Miami defender would have actually just wrapped up instead of going in for the big hit. Number 2. You know what? I have a list in front of me. Just win. And you know what? Lastly, also I have a list in front of me. Just win. Miami, just win the football game. I'm telling you, I know we're all about the swag. We're all about the touchdown rings and the turnover chain, which I'm all for. I'm all for those things. But let's just win the football game and take care of business just like we did against Bethune-Cookman. We need to show that we can easily and consistently handle opponents like Central Michigan, like Bethune-Cookman. We need to absolutely just decimate and destroy these types of teams. So on to the score prediction for this game. Now, I've been a little close on a few games this season. I've been wrong on a few as well. So I'm telling you guys, do not place your bets based on this. I don't bet on college football, but if you do, don't write down Coop's score prediction and go put down $5,000 or $10,000 or something on it. I don't even know what's the normal amount to bet on a college football game. It's probably a lot less than that. I don't know, but just don't bet on my score, okay? But I will make a score prediction for it. Let's also first take a look at the ESPN matchup predictor. Means absolutely nothing, but I like to throw it in the video anyways. They have Miami's win percentage chance coming in at 98.1% and Central Michigan at 1.9%. So they've got Miami getting an easy victory in this game. As I said, though, Miami cannot afford to underestimate any teams this season, but this should be an easy victory for Miami. Now, that being said, my score prediction for this game. I see Miami scoring 52 points and Central Michigan coming out with a field goal. So I've got Miami with the dub, 52-3 in this football game. It is another home game for Miami. This is game number 2 of that 5-game home stretch for Miami at Hard Rock. Miami gets a bye week after this. You have to keep that in mind. I was initially thinking Miami should, of course, easily handle business against Central Michigan, but I didn't want to catch us sleeping on them thinking ahead to Virginia Tech, but Miami gets a bye week. So we have plenty of time to prepare for Virginia Tech, and that will be another home game. So Miami should easily take care of business against Central Michigan, but just please don't sleep on them. Please come out and let's punch them in the mouth, and let's play Miami football. And hear me out. I told you guys in the last live stream that I was going to do this. We're still going to hold up 4s for the fourth quarter because we finish football games. That's what we do. But for this next live hangout, I want to see us putting 1s in the chat before we start the game. And don't let me forget to do that. I'm going to be holding up a 1. I'm going to put a 1 in the chat. Miami needs to start fast in this game. I understand that against Bethune-Cookman, Miami started to pick up a little bit in the third and fourth quarter. If we want to win these big-time games against these top 25 opponents, we have to start fast. We need to put points on the board in the first quarter. And I'm not talking 3 points or 7 points. We need to be scoring multiple touchdowns in the first quarter. This offense needs to get things rolling quickly. So that's going to be it for this preview video, guys. Nothing too crazy in this one. Don't worry, we're going to get back to the real crazy stuff, you know, ripping shirts, throwing toasters against the wall, flipping tables. We'll get to it. Once we start getting into the meat of this ACC schedule, things are going to get real crazy on this channel. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're a new subscriber here, just listen. Things get crazy on this channel. I do some really weird, odd stuff, and you'll just have to stay tuned to check it out. But don't forget that we will be doing the live hangout for the Miami versus Central Michigan game on Saturday right here on YouTube on this channel, and I will have links for you guys because the game will be on ACC Network. If you don't have that channel, don't worry. Some people call me the link man for a reason. I've got you. But I'll see you guys the night before on Friday night before the game. We'll take phone calls, discuss it, and then, of course, that live hangout on Saturday. Until then, though, guys, remember that we are all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.